The sound of our world.
On cna.asia.
On Me Listen.
On Google Assistant.
Play news from CNA.
And on your radio.
This is cna938.
Understand Asia.
Next, news and current affairs through the night.
This is World Tonight.
Good evening, I'm Paul Sung. Tonight's top stories: the UN votes to adopt a motion requiring permanent members of the Security Council to justify their use of the veto. Discussions of veto reform have been revived by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The United Nations Secretary General calls for a ceasefire in Ukraine ahead of talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Russia says it's ready to cooperate with the UN on humanitarian needs. Germany announces its first delivery of heavy weapons to Ukraine to help it fend off Russian attacks. This as Washington hosts defense talks in Germany involving over 40 countries. Beijing expands mass coronavirus testing for nearly all of its 21 million residents. There are mounting fears the Chinese capital will be placed under a strict lockdown similar to Shanghai. Another step closer to a semblance of normality in Singapore as most COVID-19 curbs are lifted. Gatherings limits are gone while safe distancing and entry checks are no longer required.
I'm Lokwetu. Also tonight, the United Nations sounds another alarm for planet Earth that warns the future of daily disasters could be on the horizon. A suicide bomber kills 4 people, including 3 Chinese nationals in Pakistan. The separatist group that has targeted Chinese in the past claims responsibility.
The 5 members of the United Nations Security Council will have to justify how they use their veto power in future. Discussions of veto reforms are rare and controversial, but have been revived by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The General Assembly has just voted on a resolution sparked by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Permanent member Russia has used its veto power to limit what the Security Council can do since Moscow invaded Ukraine. Nick Harper joins us live from Washington, D.C. with more. Nick, how significant is the General Assembly's decision to have the Security Council permanent members justify its vetoes?